This is Damna. Welcome into the COVEN. So this is episode number 1 of something that I've never done before. So I think that an introduction or like an FAQ is in order, just to explain a little bit why I will be doing this and how I will be doing it. So yeah, about the why. I've been listening to hard rock and heavy metal since I was 6 or 7 years old. And I've been really passionate about heavy metal through the years, and I'm in my 40s now. So apart being a musician, some of you may already know that, I still am very passionate about the bands, the albums, the songs. And so I always love talking about this, but few are the occasions nowadays. So I guess that, something like this could be great in order to go through my journey in heavy metal and talk a little bit about it. So this is basically the why. How? So I will try to make an episode once a month, and at least I will try. And I will be doing it here on YouTube because I found out that it's like one of the few platforms where you can do something like this without struggling too much and without, breaking any copyright laws, which is something that I wouldn't want to do, of course. Each episode will have a theme, so I will basically choose a theme that it can be a specific topic or a year or a subgenre. It depends. So I will pick it up every time, and I will choose all of the songs that, depending on that theme. There will be 10 to 12, 13 songs every time, and I decided to divide each episode into 3 sections. It will be a main section where I will play basically 7 to 10 tracks, but then there will be a couple more. And I was influenced in doing this by the Ed Bangers Ball TV show. I don't know if any one of you remembers about it. It was airing in the 90s, and for me it was a specific year. It was 1994, and I was watching it, and at the end of each episode there was this section called Into the Pit, where they aired video clips from extreme metal. So that is where I actually met bands like Cannibal Corpse, like Amorphis, Dismember, Morbid Angel. So I was influenced by that. And there will be, as I said, 2 more sections. One, I will call it the Hidden Gem. That is where I will play a track coming from the deep underground, or a demo, or an underrated band, or something like that. And then a final section called Into the Lungs of Hell, where I will play a couple of tracks coming from the darker material, all right? So this is basically how each episode will be. I probably am forgetting something. Yes, I will try not to be obvious with my choices. I don't want this to be like the usual metal mix with the trooper breaking the law, I want out. It's not going to be something like that. I will of course go through my metal journey, so some bands will be obvious because they are mandatory, but I will try to pick up songs that are not the usual ones, that are, so that each episode can be interesting also to, the ones that I've, may just find out bands that I've never listened to, tracks that they have always ignored, or albums that they just didn't know that they ever existed. So basically this is how it will all go here. So I think I'm done with the introduction. So let's start with the music. Talking about not being obvious, the first track, the first choice for this first episode is Iron Maiden. I couldn't not choose them. They are my foundation, together with some other bands that I will play here on this first episode, as it will probably be for a lot of the metal fans out there, probably most of them. Maiden is so important if we are talking about metal. So this leads me to the topic of this, to the theme of this first episode, which is 1984. So why 1984? I was picking up songs for this first episode while I was still thinking about doing this podcast or not. So I just made myself a playlist, and I was thinking about how would it be if I would, wanted to do something like this? Which are the songs that I will choose and pick up, And I just thought I could, I would start randomly, just choosing songs and picking up songs that are really important for me. And as I was picking them up, I noticed that they were all coming from albums that were released in 1984. So that is why I chose this theme for the first episode. And, 1984 was incredible. If you just look at all of the albums that were released and how important they are, how legendary and crucial they are for the metal scene, it's really unbelievable. So it was really embarrassing when I was trying to pick up songs, because 13 songs are not enough just to showcase that year and what was released in that year. So I picked up the most important for me and the ones that are showing a little bit this journey that I was talking about, and probably I will play more in later episodes because I had to just leave out a lot of bands and albums. So yeah. So let's get back to the first track, Iron Maiden. What was released in 1994? Yes, Power Slave, of course. So we are going through an incredible album. I don't know if it's my favorite album, or maybe it is, because I'm always very embarrassed, once again, when they ask me what is my favorite Iron Maiden album. And, if I look back at their discography, if I just look from Killers to Seventh Son, I just couldn't pick up one just to save my life. I don't know. The very first album I listened from Maiden was Seventh Son, when it was released in 88. But I guess that with Power Slave, I have a very special relationship. Also because it probably has my favorite production from Martin Birch and from Maiden. So, I just went with Power Slave, and then that's the choice for the theme of the episode. So, yes, first track, Iron Maiden from Power Slave. This is Flash of the Blade. The incredible thing is that Flash of the Blade was never played live by Maiden. I really hope I'm not wrong about this, but I don't remember I've ever seen it on any track list, and I know that I searched this thing in the past, and yes, they never played it. So, I mean, this is one of my favorite ones, and even if it's not the usual pickup from the Power Slave album, because of course there are so many incredible songs in that one, but I mean, they should play it, right? But yeah, this is definitely one great track, and I don't know if all of you may know this, but it was picked up by Dario Argento in one of his movies from the 80s, the Phenomena movie. In some countries it was known as Creepers. And I remember when I was a kid, I was watching it, and suddenly there was this chase scene that leads to, I think it was the first kill of the movie, and then the riff from Flash of the Blade starts, and I was really going crazy. So yeah, I love that song also for that reason. So yes, enough with Iron Maiden for the moment. Let's get into the second track of our first episode here. This is the second really obvious choice for me, because it's one of the another great foundations for me, really fundamental for my for me getting into loving heavy metal since I was a kid. And the band is Metallica. So, but you're all safe because it's 1984 here, and we're gonna play a track from an immense album called Ride the Lightning. This is one of one of my favorites in metal in general, in life. It holds most of the great riffs coming from thrash metal, and yeah, overall it's a really great album. Here I was a little bit once again I didn't know what to pick up, because here you can just go with any song and you'll be fine. But I chose the one that has one of the best riffs for me in general. So let's go with the title track. So Metallica, Ride the Lightning. Oh yeah, what a riff, what a song. Metallica from the 80s. You know, the first album I got from Metallica was still in 1988, thanks to my brother who bought the cassette as soon as it was released. It was Injustice for All, an album that I love so much. But Metallica from the 80s is really, incredible. And it has been so important for metal in general. Okay, so let's get to the third track. Here we're getting into a bit darker territory, still in 1984. I got to know this band not so early as I did with the classics, with Maiden, Metallica, and Megadeth, and all of these classic bands, but I got to know this band through a friend of mine when I was 15 years old. He was a classmate. We were at school together, and we both shared the love for heavy metal. And once he called me and he said, a cousin of mine, I don't know if it was an uncle or a cousin, but it just brought me a collection of metal albums on vinyl. Would you like to come to my place and have a listen? And of course I went, and there I discovered some of the best bands from the 80s that I just didn't know, because at the time there was no internet. It was really difficult to get to listen to albums and get to know new bands apart from the printed magazines that were available at the time. So on that afternoon, I got to know bands like Candlemass, Trouble, The Gravedigger, the albums from the 80s, Halloween, Manila Road, and a bunch of others. But then I saw this incredible cover artwork. It was a well-drawn demon surrounded by flames, and all of the song titles and the photos, and it was all breathing this atmosphere of darkness, of like coming from the occult, and I was really drawn to it. And then we put it on, and this chilling voice, these really eerie riffs were going on, and I was like, all right, I'm falling in love with this. And of course, I'm talking about King Diamond and Merciful Fate. So it was the Don't Break the Oath album. And that's the day when I really fell in love with it, with this band coming from Denmark and playing this kind of a really dark heavy metal. It was really, really cool, a cool surprise. And so yes, I will now play from Merciful Fate from the Don't Break the Oath album. This is Desecration of Souls. Oh, thank you, Merciful Fate, for this amazing song and amazing album. They disbanded after this, right? But fortunately, they came back in the 90s with an amazing comeback album called In the Shadows, but we will talk more about that in future episodes. It was great for me when I discovered them because it was 1996. So they were already out with some albums with their comeback. So I was lucky enough to, have more albums from them apart from the Melissa and the Don't Break the Oath album. So it was a feast of Merciful Fate at the time. Okay, let's get back to the United States for this fourth track. I think that 1984 was really crucial for the birth of, or at least the development of thrash metal after the Kill 'Em All album 1 year before by Metallica. There were other bands that were basically, I think, influenced by the new wave of British heavy metal, but they were willing to play it in a faster and more violent way, like Metallica did with Kill 'Em All. And so this band did with their debut album in 1984, an album that's, for me, it's one of the most, I define it one of the most metal albums that it's ever been released. The album is called Fistful of Metal by Anthrax. I'm not the biggest fan of Anthrax, especially after the 80s. I mean, I discovered them, actually, I discovered them with the Persistence of Time, so it was a bit late. It was 1990, if I'm not mistaken. But I went back to their albums from the 80s until I got to listen to Fistful of Metal. Different singer, Neil Turbin, who made an incredible work on this first album. It really was sounding amazing. And he made a great performance here. And I think, as I said, this is probably one of the most metal albums for me. And so that's why I am playing this song. Anthrax from Fistful of Metal. This is Death Rider.
Sweet
Oh, yes, Anthrax. So, yes, as I said, I really love their albums from the 80s up to the Persistence of Time album. Spreading the Disease or Among the Living are really, really cool. But yes, this album is holds a special place for all the reasons that I said before. So, enough with Anthrax, enough with thrash metal for the moment. We are getting back to the obvious, choices, to the bands that I could not ignore here. So we'll get back to the UK now, and to one of the bands that is, I'm talking about Judas Priest. What can we say about them? Also here, I got a bit late with some of their albums, because I got to know them. I think I got to know them through the Painkiller album, so it was still 1990, a bit late. Then I got back to their previous albums, up to the one that I will play now, the Defenders of the Faith, one of my favorite from the band. And yes, I think that's we're talking about a really classic and well done heavy metal that is probably the foundation of so many of the metal fans in the world. I am picking up a song that is maybe one of my favorite tracks ever. This is really the meaning of metal for me, or at least it's a big part of it. This song is it's just great. So Judas Priest from the Defenders of the Faith album. This is The Sentinel.
facing one another. The stand-up eats the time. Then all at once, a silence falls as the bell ceases its chime. Upon this line, the challengers with shrieks and cries rush forth. The knives fly out like bullets upon their deadly course. Screams of pain and agony rent the silent air. Amidst the dying bodies, blood runs everywhere. The figure stands expressionless, impassive and alone, unmoved by his victory, and the seas of death is sound. Sworn to avenge, condemned to hell, to knock the blade of the same to know. Sworn to avenge, condemned to hell, to knock the blade of the same to know. Sworn to avenge, condemned to hell, to knock the blade of the same to know. Sworn to avenge, condemned to hell, to knock the blade of the same to
Oh, The Sentinel. What a great track. Okay, now let's talk about epic metal. What I like to call epic metal, because this band has written some of the best epic metal tracks in the whole history, I think. At least this is my opinion. They are Manowar. Yes, they are. And since we are talking about 1984, this band that used to, want to be the best, the loudest, the greatest, and so on, released not just one album, but two. So in the 80s, it was pretty common to, for a band to release an album every year. But Manowar, no, they did have to do it better, and they released two albums, but these two albums are equally great. And one is Hail to England, that was released in July, and The Sign of the Hammer, that was released at the end of a year. And it was really hard here to pick up a song from one of these albums, but yeah, I will have more episodes just to encapsulate the epic metal theme. Probably one of the next episodes will be about epic metal. So yes, I've chosen a song out of the Hail to England album, and it's probably one of my favorite ones. Okay, from Manowar, Hail to England, this is Each Dawn I Die.
I
So I double-checked, and The Sign of the Hammer was released in October of 1984. So it was even a bit earlier than the end of the year. It was like 3 months later. Crazy. You know, this feeling of being like almost inside a sword and sorcery movie or novel is what defines the epic metal genre to me, or at least part of it, together with the greatness of the sound and these like really epic lyrics. And Manowar have been great in this, together with other bands, of course. And as I said, probably one of the next episodes will be about epic in metal. So I will have the chance to go a lot more through this topic. Okay, now we get back to Europe with a band that is really dear to me. I mean, I still am a big fan of this band, but I remember when I was like, I think 19 years old, I used to drive I bought my first car, and I was at Wacken that year, and I bought this huge sticker of this band, the one that you put on your like car back windshield, and so yeah, I put it on my car, of course, and I remember that I needed to find a job, and I remember myself going through all of these like different companies and having the job interview, and people watched me arrive with this with this big destruction sticker on my car. It was fun. And yeah, most of them didn't hire me, so probably it wasn't good for a job interview, but it was good for my metal history. So yeah, we're talking about Destruction, and in 1984 they released their EP, Sentence of Death. This is very raw. I mean, we're talking about thrash metal, not from the States, but from Germany, which was slightly different. It was more violent, it was heavier, it was raw, with, from bands like Creator, Sodom, and Destruction. We really got a sound that was heavy enough to inspire, in part, some of the extreme metal that was starting to grow at first in the 80s, but then in the early 90s. So yeah, that's the vein of those bands, especially in their first material. So 1984, as I said, Sentence of Death. This is Destruction with Total Disaster.
My own
Yes, this was Destruction. What a great track. I really love this vibe in heavy metal since I was a kid. And still when I was a kid, I got to know a band called Hellstar with an album called Nosferatu. It was released in 1989, but I found it in a record shop that used to sell used CDs. Back in, I was 15 years old probably, and I really liked this band because it had this like classic metal / thrash metal sound, but it was really complicated. It was not like Judas Priest, with simple songs and hits. It really was a bit more complicated, and I really loved that because it needed few listenings to really get into the album, and it happened actually with the Nosferatu album. Then for a while, I didn't listen a lot to them, and I think they were a really underrated band, especially in the 80s. And since we're talking about 1984, I got to know their debut album a few years ago, together with their second album as well, and they're great. As much as Nosferatu was in '89, also their previous albums are really good. And so this is their debut album, the Burning Star album. This is Hellstar with Burning Star.
justice, I'll shiver. Going down in fire, flames are getting higher. Burn through your desire, but in me won't you inspire.
You know, when I was a kid, and this means when I was from 6 years to 10, 12 years, I was also really into the what was called the glam metal scene. All of the bands, Motley Crue and Def Leppard, all of these bands that really had great albums out there, even if they were a bit more. They were softer than the metal bands, but still, they really had some great things going, I think. But there were a few of these bands that were kind of going between the glam metal, the like hard rock and heavy metal. And one of these bands was Wasp, because they are still like a hard rockish band. They were a bit heavier, but still they were in that vein. But they had this really violent and raw look, and also their sound was a bit more. It was a bit heavier in the production and all. And they are likely in the likings also of extreme metal fans. I believe for their rawness, because they were really violent in their, especially with their aspect, with their how they looked on stage and on the video clips and on the photos. So it was easy not to fall in love with them for this reason as well. But also for their songs. I mean, they made some great albums, and I will play now a song from the debut album, from the legendary debut album. This is an incredible song. This is Hellion. And after Mr. Blackie Lawless and Wasp, I will now play the last track of the first section for this first episode, all based on 1984. I will play now a song from one of the best singers in heavy metal, one of the ones that really left a big sign for all of us metal fans with what it did. At first with Rainbow, then with Black Sabbath, and then with his solo career. That is probably the one that most went into heavy metal territories. I will now play a track from his second album. This is from The Last in Line. I'm talking about Dio, of course, and this is Egypt. The Chains Are On. I don't know if there's anything that we could say about him that hasn't been said, apart from really praising him as a vocalist, as an artist, as an entity in heavy metal. So Ronnie James Dio was really, really, really important. And I mean, these albums like The Holy Diver and The Last in Line, also the Dream Evil one, are really, really, really important. And this song was great. It was the longer of the album, but it has like this epic twist and like this doomy riff. It's a very good one. So we're done with the main section, and I am now getting into the last part of the episode. So this next track is part of the hidden gem idea that I want to carry on with this, and it's from a band that was another underrated band in my opinion. If you're into the metal from the 80s, you might know them. They are called Chastain, after the name of the guitarist and leader. And I got to know them pretty late in life, and I'm really sorry for that, because their albums, as I said, especially from the 80s, are really good. And it's a kind of a classical heavy metal, but typical from the 80s, and with really good riffs, good songs, and an amazing singer, Leather Leone, who really gave a touch of personality to the band and really showed how a female vocalist could really be metal. Her voice is great, but it's also harsh and it's powerful. And this is one of the finest examples of metal in the 80s, in my opinion. Their first album, the debut, wasn't released in 84. It was released in 1985, even if it was recorded at the end of 1984, the Mystery of Illusion album. But in 1984, they released their demo. So this is where the hidden gem idea is fitting, because I will play a song from a demo. You can get this in the bonus tracks of the re-release of their first album, so it's not that rare or difficult to get. But it's cool to listen to like a raw version of what they just re-recorded a couple of months later on their album, because this song was re-recorded and inserted in their debut album. This is the title track, and this is Chastain with Mystery of Illusion.
Beside me,
Okay, so this was the hidden gem of this first episode, and I'm now getting to the final section of this first attempt of mine of doing this Into the Coven podcast. We're getting into the lungs of hell. As I said, I will play darker material here, and in 1984 there were a few examples of metal bands that were pushing their sound to a more extreme, to a really faster and to the limit heavy metal. So I will now play two bands that are really important, they were really influential in the metal scene, especially for all of the bands that took the extreme path, especially in the early 90s. So yeah, the first band that I will play are Celtic Frost. We all know them. They released this first EP with Noise Records in 1984 called Morbid Tales. And so yes, this is Celtic Frost with Into the Crits of Rays. Alright, so we're getting to the final track for this first episode. Thank you so much for staying with me. if you're still listening, of course. It's been great for me to go through all of these bands and all of these great songs and have the chance to talk about them a little bit, to play them and go through all of the nuances that metal offers us and is offering us since the 80s, actually. So thank you so much. Next episode will be probably about epic metal, but I will probably do another episode about the best tracks of the best albums of 2024 for me. So let's see how things will go, but I will probably do that in the meantime. So if you enjoyed this, you'll be my guest. So, final track of the episode and of the Into the Lungs of Hell section. I couldn't not pick up Bathory. Bathory and Quorthon, who released his debut album in 1984. It was so influential, both with his early material, where he really influenced all of the especially the black metal scene the black metal bands that later were born in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. But also it succeeded in being so influential also with the version of Bathory that was more into the epic and Viking atmospheres, and that gave birth to another whole scene in metal. So he was really ahead of his times. A couple of times at least in his career, he was really great. But here is 1984, and we will play a song out of the debut album called Bathory, of course. Thank you once again for staying with me. The last track for today will be Hades.